effects of COVID-19 pandemic to the shoe industry of Marikina City. The researchers are Santos, Abadinas, Alvarez, Apinado, Badila, Kona, Dunque, Uniba, Olaso, and Umalaw. This research is presented to our dearest business research, Professor Romel T. Dasala. The background of this study. This study is deeply rooted the economic hardship brought by the COVID-19 pandemic to the shoemakers of Marikina City. In conclusion, the study presents the scenario based on the challenges of the shoemakers and how they do well on it. This encouraged the researchers to gain a deeper knowledge by conducting this study. The researchers aimed to identify the effect of COVID-19 pandemic to the shoe industry of Marikina City by conducting virtual interview and survey questionnaires using Google Form that seeks their demographic profile and questions about the effect of COVID-19 to the shoe industry. The answer may be treated as a collected data that may help innovate the workers and business owners' knowledge upon knowing what strategies are needed. Theoretical framework. Porter's 5 Forces is a simple but powerful tool for understanding the competitiveness of your business environment and for identifying your strategy's potential profitability. This is useful because when you understand the forces in your environment or industry that can affect your profitability, you'll be able to adjust your strategy accordingly. For example, you could take fair advantage of a strong position or improve a weak one, and avoid taking wrong steps in the future. First, competitive rivalry. Second, supplier power. Third, buyer power. Fourth, threat of substitution. And lastly is the threat of new entry. Conceptual framework. The researchers were able to present the brief flow of the processes starting from the problem, the processes it undergoes, the positive effect and negative effect, which is the outcome of the process, showing the factors that helps the shoe manufacturers upon selling shoes. Statement of the problem. What is the demographic profile of the shoe owner in a small enterprise in terms of name, age, wages, salary per day? How is the effect of COVID-19 pandemic to the shoe industry in terms of competition in both local and export markets? In terms of quality, we all know that the Marikina shoes are well made because the materials used in its creation are just the quality ones. Some consumers have pointed out that compared to China-made footwear, Marikina-made shoes last significantly longer, but some of the consumers mostly prefer the affordability. Consumers usually consider the shoe price before buying. People now prefer affordability over the quality of a shoe and what is more trending made by the other countries. So that the researchers want to evaluate the effect of COVID-19 pandemic to the shoe industry in both local and export markets. What is the effect of COVID-19 to the shoes industry to the local shoemakers, particularly to the small-scale manufacturers? In this research, we will discuss about the effect of COVID-19 on footwear manufacturing. The main purpose in this research is to determine the impact of COVID-19 on footwear manufacturing and how it affects the local shoemakers. We will also look at how COVID-19 can affect the local shoemakers as well as their suppliers. What are the advantage and disadvantage of selling by using a new digital platform? In this case, we need to examine the advantage and disadvantage of selling using a new digital platform or online selling. We will also look at how to use the new technology for your business in order to make sure that you have a good idea about the benefits of using an online platform. Significance of this study. This study will be beneficial to the society. The data may be efficient to examine the criteria and the factors that affects to the shoe industry that may predict future success. Marikina's footwear industry. This study will help them to define the hard work, inventiveness, and dedication of each shoemakers to the craft and passing their knowledge to succeeding generations. Promotion and marketing of Marikina's footwear industry. It will help that this period, international economic depreciation, lifting of imports controls, and protectionism affected the production of local shoemakers, particularly the small-scale manufacturers. Curriculum planners and implementers, as it will help them in their job of curriculum review and implementation as it concerns shoe industry in Marikina City. Future readers. This research proposal will help the future readers to gain more knowledge about the effect of COVID-19 pandemic to the shoe industry in Marikina City, and most especially in this new normal and new generation or trend. Future researchers. This research proposal will help those who may wish to carry out similar researchers in the related areas. They will gain more knowledge, and this can be their reference when they have started the research paper. This can be also their guide while making the research paper about the application of shoe industry. Scope and delimitations. This study will seek to focus on the effect of COVID-19 pandemic to the shoe industry in Marikina City. The study will be primarily conducted through online survey. The researchers studied the effects of COVID-19 to the shoe industry of Marikina City. The researchers conducted this study to the 60 manufacturers of a small scale of shoe vendors in Marikina City. The researchers studied only about the effects of COVID-19 to the shoe manufacturers in terms of surviving their businesses during this time, and the researchers may not focus on the other brands of shoes. The researchers will use online survey questionnaires as the main data gathering method to determine the respondents' knowledge and the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic to the shoe industry in Marikina City. Review of related literature and studies. Foreign literature. Ripple effect on export. Foreign studies. Study. How is the coronavirus impacting small business workers? Local literature. Use of digital platform to amid COVID-19 pandemic. Methods of research. In this study, the researchers use quantitative method that focuses on the study where in-depth information and statistical investigation is gathered by survey forms through Google Form for the required collecting information. This research method provides an opportunity to study matters in their natural environment by observing people and their interactions. In this study, the researchers use questions that seek the demographic background of the respondents and statements in Likert type scale about the effects of COVID-19 pandemic to the shoe industry in Marikina City. Data gathering procedure. The researchers choose a sample size of 60 shoe vendors from Santo Niño, Marikina City as the respondents. In this study, the researchers used survey questionnaire to treat as the data. The survey forms were published in English and distributed to different small shoe vendors. The questionnaires contained demographic background of the respondents. The survey questions were based on the theory about the effects of COVID-19 to the shoe industry. The survey forms included questions with Likert type scale that allows the respondents to express how much they agree or disagree. The answers from the survey forms were treated as the data. The researchers tallied the results, summarized and analyzed and interpreted it afterwards to formulate conclusions and recommendations. Presentation and data interpretation and analysis. Out of 60 shoe vendors, 22 to 25 got 20%, 26 to 28 had 42%, and 29 to 35 is 38%. These are the ages of the vendors. Majority of the respondents in this study are 26 to 28 of ages. Out of 60 surveyed shoe vendors, 23 respondents gained 250 to 300 salary per day. It is 38%. 27 vendors gained 301 to 450 had 45%. And 10 vendors gained 451 to 570 salary per day got 17%. Majority of the respondents' salary wages per day is 301 to 450. This implies that most of the surveyed shoe vendors belong to a middle to high class of living. Based on the researchers' computation using weighted mean, Table 3 shows that number 5 got the highest rank among the 5 statements with a weighted mean of 4.62 under the factor of quality. That implies that the majority of the respondents strongly agree that the quality of a product affects the buying decision-making of customers when shoes in Marikina City. The researchers' computation using weighted mean in Table 4 shows that number 3 got the highest rank among the 5 statements with the weighted mean of 4.37 under the factor of affordability. That implies that the majority of the respondents strongly agreed that the affordability always matters when buying shoes. The computation using weighted mean in Table 5 shows that the number 3 and 5 got the highest rank among the 5 statements with a weighted mean of 4.18 under the factor of small-scale manufacturer. That implies that the majority of the respondents strongly agreed that the manufacturer need to expand the capacity and add more and newer machines, and tailors are looking for other jobs due to losing their jobs. The researchers' computation using weighted mean in Table 6 shows that the number 4 got the highest rank among the 5 statements with a weighted mean of 4.43 under the advantage and disadvantage of selling by using a new digital platform. That implies that the majority of the respondents strongly agreed to the competitors are higher now, because most of the businesses are through online. The researchers' computation using weighted mean of all statements in every factors of quality, affordability, small-scale manufacturer, and advantages and disadvantages of selling by using a new digital platform in Table 6 shows that advantage and disadvantage of selling by using a new digital platform got the highest rank among the 4 factors with a weighted mean of 4.29. That implies that the majority of the respondents strongly agreed that the digital platform is more useful tool by selling products because most of the businesses are through online. Conclusion. After interpreting and analyzing the data gathered about the effect of COVID-19 pandemic to the shoe industry of Marikina City, the researchers finally concluded the following. Through analyzing the answers, the researchers concluded that the most affecting factors that influences consumers upon buying shoes is advantages and disadvantage of selling by using a new digital platform. While majority of the surveyed students answered that they strongly agreed that the advantage and disadvantages of selling by using a new digital platform is the most effective factors. The researchers also concluded that the competitors are higher now because most of the businesses are through online. The researchers further concluded that the shoe vendors of Santo Niño, Marikina City seeks a digital platform is very important tool for selling. It shows that consumers select a product through online and it gives an easily access. Majority of the surveyed shoe vendors responded that some consumers prefer to buy directly to the store, but because of the pandemic, they use an online platform so considered as the most effective factor in the shoe industry. As a conclusion, College of Business Administration students of ISA City Colleges chose digital platform of selling shoes are the most affecting factors upon buying shoes. Recommendation. Based on the results gathered by the researchers, they recommend the following. To the students, innovate the knowledge of the students or marketers about the factors affects the shoe industry in terms of strategies in selling during pandemic. Help consumers understand how the factors affect their behavior in buying shoes. Identify the factors behind the purchase of the product in the market. Widen the variety of strategies used in promoting a product in the market. Help marketers innovate their strategies when selling products in the shoe industry. To the society, widen the knowledge about the needs and preference of a consumer for the success of the business organizations. Innovate understanding on the demands of every consumer. To have a successful business organization, marketers should know the preferences of a consumer in order to be competitive.